your old pal Plazzy the Plasma Deity, formerly known as Squatty the Squatter Man, and I'm back again to let y'all in on a little known secret of the Milky Way. Now, this is our solar system: the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, watch out for the Klingons around Uranus, and Neptune. Now, modern academia tells us that the solar system is all messed up. Mercury is too small of a planet to be so close to the Sun. Venus, why, it spins backwards. Of course, everybody knows that we here on Earth are on a 23.5-degree tilt. Now let's take a look at Uranus. Uranus is tilted by a whopping 98 degrees. Ouch! And why does Neptune spin on its side, tilted 30 degrees to the Sun's orbit? Well, there was a colleague of Einstein's, an Israeli scientist named Immanuel Velikovsky, a very smart man, who once suggested in the 1950s that our planets in ancient times were in a different order and much closer together. And then in the 1990s, along came a very smart man named David Talbot, and he made a documentary called Symbols of an Alien Sky, whereupon he suggested that it was the Earth, Mars, Venus, and Saturn that was the alternate planetary alignment, and for primitive man and early hominids, this is what it would have looked like from Earth. And this planetary alignment with the planets so close would have created a plasma discharge in between the planets that would have looked a little something like this. Me, my handsome self, Plazzy the Plasma Deity, here I am. And David Talbot, he went about looking and he found this image of me all over the world. They just couldn't stop drawing me. I guess my handsome self was too hard to resist. Anyway, here to explain the rest, is that weird guy, Steve. I mean, he really is weird. I mean, you guys don't even know. I've secretly filmed him doing some Silence of the Lambs stuff. Look for yourself.
Shake that ass, mommy. Shake that ass, mommy. Shake that ass, mommy.
What the actual... I guess old Plazzy won't be needing his eyeballs anymore, folks. Anyway, here he is, somebody who's definitely not weird at all. It's Steve.
Hey, everybody. So I've come to a really strange predicament. It's really great, but now that I've unlocked the true Atlantean template, and I did have it unlocked before, but I was trying to apply an expression of that template to everything because that's what got used in the more modern terms, in the more modern sense after the Renaissance. Maybe sooner, but definitely after all the Renaissance in those early videos I did. Seeing that the Göbekli Tepe Pillar 43 is actually an expression of the Plasma Deity template has switched my focus to look for energy patterns that would have corresponded to what they were seeing in the sky. And now that I know what the overall palette, where everything is supposed to be, given its repetition with other expressions of it, I'm able to also learn the variations of what it also looked like, because it's in flux. That's this glyph sometimes look like this glyph, and that's in the case of like the high symbol and the Gemini symbol, and I believe pi, because it's at the bottom of the circle. That's where the symbol of pi comes from. So I have found so much that I don't know what to show you guys anymore, because everything that I see, I know what it is and I know how it translates. Now here's something really fascinating. I think that I have narrowed it down. I think the Plasma Deity, the final separation and the birth of the yellow sun happened. This is astonishing. I found this out today. This is the the Nebra sky disk, and it was found in Germany, and it dates to 1600 BCE. This is our first and very first representation of our modern yellow sun today. Anything else that goes before, like Mycenaean or Minoan or Sumerian, I would argue it's not the sun. It's the Plasma Deity sun. It's what the Egyptians called Zep Tepi. It's what the Greeks called the before time. And this sits really well with me because I can believe that oral tradition, and if it happened in, because I'm thinking the Nebra Sky Disk is commemorating the new sky. It happened around 1600 BC, and I was astonished. I started combing through everything. You go through every single ancient cave art prior to this date. You will not find a yellow mark in the sky in any of the paintings in Lascaux. That's astonishing. That should not be. You know what you do find in Lascaux Cave? You find the grid. That's the plasma deity. So is this. And you know what else that is in the the Lascaux Caves? Well, say hello to the Eye of Horus. All you have to do is, here, I'll show you. Finish drawing that there and extend that out. And you have Eye of Horus. It's even got a little curlicue here at the bottom already. It's going the other way, but you know, it's in flux, just like I've been saying. There's the Eye of Horus on the Lascaux Cave. Now, why is the Eye of Horus as a goat next to the grid in the sky? Because there's the head, it's this, there. There's the head, there's the spheres on the side. In an older video, I showed you how you turn, you know, if you compartmentalize each feature, that's what it becomes. Because it's this part. It's this part of the plasma deity. It's, again, you have to take an artist's eye view of it. You can't expect, oh, I don't see that. You have to take the negative space and all of that stuff. Look, the way the leg curves at the bottom here is even the same way as the curve here. This is the Eye of Horus, and it's being shown. It's the plasma deity, and it's in the Lascaux Cave, and that's the plasma deity. So the Lascaux Caves go back 17,000 years. We know that the plasma deity event was still happening 17,000 years ago. I think it's only one. We're only seeing one. Perhaps it's two. Or this may just be the one with this is the sphere on the side, because sometimes the sphere looked like a little person as well. A little that's the this actually became the this is like the little figure with the big figure that we see bow. Okay, so let me move on, because you know I just got one. Okay, here's a cave painting showing the same thing. This is in the American Southwest, but on the sides here, this is where the grids were happening. It's the same thing. There's something going across. I also found this. This is in the American Southwest. This is in Aboriginal ancient. Here we have the wheel, the cosmic wheel, the spiked wheel. We have the staff, which is the Fibonacci tree. We have the staff right there, same kind of thing. We have the bird shaman. So I have now found 3 ancient cave art bird shaman, because it's all the plasma deity. See what this? Look at the compartments here. This is the same compartments as our Paracas piece going up the side. It's the same boxcar Willie, I've been calling it. The little boxcars in there are being shown right here. That's the same Paracas. I showed art yesterday. I showed he's got a staff and it's marked off just like that. Okay, too much of a coincidence. Too much of a coincidence. So this means that, and this is supposed to be an AD. I don't think so that it's that recent. It's either passed down, and the reason I like the date of 1600 is because I think oral tradition could keep it alive for 1,000 years. And that's how long it would take for Greece to begin. And the Greeks began the legends of the Titans. The Titans was the planetary alignment. The new gods are the current alignment. Saturn is Kronos, is the Titan who. Okay, here's, and again, I'm just finding so much stuff. I don't know, each one of these could be a half-hour video, so I'm just cruising through. Remember our Kurgan stelae? This is a Eurasian Kurgan stelae. They're all over Eurasia. I'm finding them in Great Britain as well. Um, yeah, here's a Native American Indian rock art. Yeah, it's a Kurgan stele, except now he's a Native American. There's even a million of them with the same tool. And look up Kurgan steles. There's a gazillion of them. If this is the same thing that's in Tiwanaku, if this was found anywhere in Eurasia, they would say immediately it's a Kurgan stele. It's in the exact same position. It's a solo figure with the face forward. They're Kurgan steles. What is a Eurasian Kurgan stele doing? And it's got Native American features. This is Atlantis. This is This is transoceanic transfer of information, transfer of culture in pre-Columbian times. Okay, so here's something else I found. Boom. Buddha, and this is Pakal. Again, here, I can draw it for you. My new favorite thing. This isn't difficult. This isn't difficult. I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is tracing what appears to be the main outline. Am I not? Oops. Let's do it a different color so you can see better. There we go. Yeah, it's the Buddha. It's just in a different shape. Why? Because it's the same palette. They saw it in different parts of the world, and they made different things out of it based on their own culture. It's very telling also. Since it is the same picture, who's doing more advanced work? So far, it's the Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians, the pre-dynastic guys, those are definitely our Atlanteans. I think they are carried from Sumer because the Mesopotamians have the same floor plans, essentially like 90% for the ziggurats as for the pyramids. The pyramids were the ziggurats were first. They're right next door. It's not like they're making a ton of different versions of buildings at that time. They're making these pyramidal type buildings, and if this is pyramidal, except that it's smooth, this one is stepped, and even the first pyramid is stepped. So when you look at the subterranean floor plans for the ziggurat, it's virtually identical to the pyramids. This is a transfer of culture and design. And we have to think of technology, the way they're aligned with the stars and everything. The Sumerians, we know, we're big on that. So here's the kicker. Down here where I keep finding are here is the, call it what you want. I mean, it's Gemini. It's you can make when it's connected certain ways, it's the high symbol. When it's missing down here, it became the phi symbol. But over here, it look how much of a match it is. We have one right here. By the way, this is also the Taurus. It's when it was in flux. I'm starting to think that all of the zodiac signs were glyphs that were in flux down here. I'm also starting to think that all of the zodiac symbols are plasma deity interpretations themselves. But this is too much of a match. This should not be here. It's all well and good to go, oh, ha, you drew a figure out of that. Yeah, a child could draw it. Yeah, but would there be matching Gemini symbols on the knees? This is Pakal in Mexico. I believe it is in Mexico. Pardon me if it's not. And this is Asia. So this is the other side of the world. They're making the same. It's the same. And the reason why these are similar is because they saw the same thing in the sky. Take whatever you want, whichever way you want to go with it. I'm happy about it. If you want to say they saw the same thing in the sky, we've just proven, then you've just stipulated that the plasma deity event was a real thing, and that's a major, major discovery. Or you say, no, I think they transferred the information. Well, if they transferred the information, it's pre-Columbian time, transoceanic. You just stipulated that Atlantis was real. There is no other explanation, other than vandalism. And what a specific vandalism. Like, I'm going to go over and chisel and you would be able to tell by the patina right there. We need Scott Walter on that to dig that out. I'm just going to keep rattling down because they just keep, and this, by the way, and there it is. Here's the figure. Here's the head, and you go all the way on down. Well, that's what they've done here. Remember, this is the magic inscription. It turned it in. This is the same kind of figure, because look what's down here. It's the Gemini symbol again. Exactly where it is on the cow at the bottom, and on the Buddha at the bottom, in Egypt, and on Tut at the bottom. And this is going back. This is old. Okay, so here again is the Lascaux. Now again, there is no yellow mark in the Lascaux caves representing the sun at all. Don't you think that is incredibly astonishing, given that this is cave art? What else are they going to paint rather than this gleaming golden object that warms them and gives them life every single day? There's not one depiction of it in Lascaux, but we have the what I believe is the most basic shape of the plasma deity. Yeah, this is telling me that by the time of the Lascaux caves, the plasma deity was the best sun. This is Zep Tepi. This is the before time. Okay, so let's move on. This I found this in Native American Southwest. It's Ishtar. There's Ishtar, and and you see how she's holding the leash with the lion head right there. Well, we also find that in the Narmer palette. Here's the bird holding the lion, the sphinx-looking thing with the in the mouth. Why? Because it's in the same place in the sky. They're making this. It looked like that in the sky. Again, take it whatever way you want. I believe that later on we do see, because of the fish robe similarity, and because of the Hewa Heyad is Yahweh backwards, I do believe that there was a transfer of information later, but I do believe at the same time, in the beginning, everyone saw it across the entire world. Here's the real kicker. Both of these I found in American Southwest Native American art. Look how specific that is, right? This is the same thing over here. They're all the same image. Oh, and this is the first depiction of Shiva. And it's only like 100 BC. I thought Shiva would go back way further, but it's only like 100 BC. It's all the same. Match the dendritic tendrils of the, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 going up, 1, and then more here. This is depicting the same scene. Look at Kadesh. This is why, I may have been wrong in my assessment that they were combining the zodiac symbols. I do think that went on, but I never thought that maybe the dendritic tendrils in the sky just looked like she's standing on a damn line. And apparently it did, because here she is. She's got the hands up. You could very easily, turn that into the lotus and the serpent. Here's the kicker. Look at this. Of course I noticed this, right? This right here, look at the way that's sticking up. That became his Shvanza right there. That's how, this tells me this thing stayed in the same place for a long time, because this is like the end of the end of the Bronze Age, so it's like 1500 BCE. This is 100 BCE. This is, and they say that this is AD. That's baffling to me, because that means that they're either A, wrong, that these drawings go back way further than AD. B, that there was a transfer of information, that that the Native Americans didn't necessarily see it. They were just told about this, and it degenerated to this over time. It doesn't seem like that to me. It seems like they are drawing what they see in the sky immediately. This doesn't seem like, oh, well, we saw this image a long time ago and it's been passed down through our forefathers, shaman, until, it got degenerated to that. That doesn't feel like that to me. This feels like this is what they're seeing in the sky, and they're drawing what they see in the sky. And this was happening at the same time. So look at the difference in workmanship. This tells you where our Atlanteans are in the world. They're in Egypt. They're in India. This is where the longest continuing civilizations are, because look at the difference in, if this is going to have to be passed down, or this is going to have to be something way older and it's been misrepresented, or this thing lasted in this exact position pretty much for 1,500 years. Um, we know that this these can't be contemporaneous. This couldn't have happened in AD, and they're seeing it. We have too much writing. We have writing by then. We know for a fact by the Nebra sky disk that by 1600 BCE, the sun, the yellow sun, is showing. So, what does that tell us then? Because the Narmer palette is still going on. This is still the plasma deity event. This is 3100, 3200. There's like 100 years difference between. This one is like 100 years older than the Narmer palette. So this is Ishtar, Inanna. It's the plasma deity as the female. It's Shera. Once you go back so that far, they're all the same, because they're all depicting the female plasma deity that's in the sky. All of this stuff that they would say is the sun is not the sun. This is a cosmic wheel. This is one of the planets in the alignment. We see it all the time. They usually have 2 or 3 on each side, and that's what I'm trying to figure out now is what exactly was the alignment that was going on, because it wasn't just a simple, I think it's all of the objects in our solar system lined up closely together, because there's some trees of life where I see up to like 14 little marks. That would mean there were 14 objects in the alignment in the sky. So, the dendrites. I even find this in Lascaux Cave, where one of the deer have I made a video about it, where it looks like they're struck by lightning. I think that's what's being shown here. And Lascaux again is 17,000 years old. So, is it possible that if it's 1600 BCE? When it separates, that's right around this time. So we might be looking at the last images of and this would have to have been like remembered or passed down. I don't have so much a problem with that, because that's only a difference of about 1,000 years. We know that traditions can be passed down 1,000 years, especially even before the printing press and stuff like that. So 1,000 years is believable. That the remembrance of this became, still revered 1,000 years later as this. As far as these guys go, I find it hard to believe that this is passed down shaman. Oh, look how I'm going to teach you how to draw this squiggly. It doesn't look precise enough. It looks like he's freehanding it as he's watching it. So my guess is that these are far older. Which means that people were in the Americas when this was going on, which means people were in the Americas 16 by the Nebra sky disk, 1600 BCE. People were here. Of course, I guess we knew that, right? Here's the other thing. This is I just wanted to show this again. These are the Paracas weird falling people with there's the smiley and the frown. That's I guess they're both smiling, but the way it looks is like one's smiling, one's frowning. That's the Tohu and Tikkun. These are the Scaraboids that I think, and these became the Ankh sign. But look at this. I think this is one of our platinum. This is what it's showing. See, they're on both sides, like that. And here we have the. If you just put a line down here, you have the Gemini symbol, and there's the head. I guess that's everything. Everything's coming so fast and furious now that I really, it's difficult to Yeah, I was matching these up too. I'm going to show you really quick. Just that, look at the lines right here, the spines. We see this everywhere. This is what became the trees. This is the tree of life that we keep seeing. It's all, look how it arches over. The arch, by the way, this arch is the Egyptian goddess. I think it's Ma'at. It's a female arched over and people used to think it was the streak, the Milky Way. I don't think it is. It's this. Um, and this is every arch that's in every cave art that we see. By the way, this is Ezekiel's wheel from it's the plasma deity that they're describing in the Bible for Ezekiel, the wheel of fire and all that stuff. It's just a plasma deity. There we go again. Plasma deity in the sky. It's like an eyewitness account. They're telling us there is no yellow sky anywhere in Lascaux, but they have this in the sky. They're telling us. Here's another representation. Here's the arch I wanted to show you. This is the Egyptian goddess who's over top of the world. Here are the figures coming down, figures going up. See how we've got the boxcar Willie going on there and stuff. This is, let's see, in the Paracas piece, the Nebula of the Heart would be right there. See, and here's our bovine and our these are the glyphs. These get turned into the Aries symbol for the zodiac. This is all in flux. This is the crazy pattern that's going on across while the plasma deity is inside here. And this is the birth of the Sheila Nagig, all those idols that have the legs spread and stuff. This is where I showed you the occult thing yesterday with the demon with all the creatures coming out. There it is right there. There's Phi. That's the Asherah pose, right? I unlocked it. Atlantis was real. The plasma deity was real. The plasma deity happened first. The separation happened 1600 BCE, I believe. I mean, look at this. There is no rationale why there is a spiky wheel and a spiky wheel, a bird shaman, and a bird shaman, same kind of staff. Like I said, these are the boxcar willies going up the side. This is American Southwest. This is Aboriginal art. This is ancient Australia. They're copying the same thing that they see in the sky. The bird shaman may be. Again, the question becomes, how much was it that it looked exactly like a bird shaman in the sky, and how much of this shows a transfer of information? Do we see this in the American Southwest and we go, well, it just really did look like a bird with a staff? Or do we say, no, somebody came over from Australia to the American Southwest and said, this is what we saw in the sky, and drew it? It's, that's the thing that I'm taking apart here again. They just call it Native American Indian rock art. It's like, hasn't anybody else ever taken the time to just study everything? It's like people can become so specialized that they only see this as Native American rock art. It's like, well, are you aware that on the other side of the planet, there's these things that they find thousands of called Kurgan stelae, and they look exactly like this? This is almost comical to me, how now it's a Native American. Like, it's like it goes from, but this is a clue. This is a clue because who made who? Are we looking at something so old that because there's our tree of life in the middle, and see how many they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12. That's 12 houses of Zodiac. That's 12 tribes of Israel. 12 jewels on the plate of the Ark of the Covenant priest. Again, the magic inscription is a face. Here is the Eye of Horus that is in the plasma deity, as I've shown you, and on the cave wall of Lascaux. Crisscross, half moon, circle, straight across, finger, Gemini sign right there. Gemini sign. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. See the eye? Here. Gemini. There it is. All I added two lines, and it becomes that, and and it's because it's that it fits there. Once again, American rock art, with Ishtar. Do they see the same thing in the sky, or is it a transfer of information? Either way you want to slice it, it's the biggest discovery in human history of human history. My name's Steve. I'll keep cranking these out. At some point, I'm going to have to stop and write my book because I think I'm done. What I want to do now is, now that I know what all the symbols are, where they are, where they should be, what the interpretations of them are, I want to go. I want to just get like a large. I want to clear out my floor, make a huge version of it on the floor, I guess virtually on the computer here, and then every single piece of ancient art, put it in one of the categories, because I know what it is now. It's like, okay, well, these Paracas people, that's the people on the side. It's also the people, look at, this is also, see the way their legs are bent? That's the bent stone at Orkney. That's where that comes from. It's the exact same angle. These people falling like this also gave us these symbols like this, which were in flux, and this is where the pi symbol comes from. It's where Gemini symbol comes from. It's where the high symbol comes from, and it's also where the Ankh, because they had heads and they had it's I want to lay it all out, my archetypes, and divide it all up, because that's the fun part now for me. It's already a foregone conclusion for me. This, and somebody wrote me, they're like, doesn't it drive you crazy to know that all of history is wrong, and every origin story of every religion is wrong, and all ties? And I was like, no, that doesn't bother me, because that the false version is what always felt wrong to me, is what always felt like this isn't how, I like that I know the truth. I mean, we made it, we're here, right? And it's freeing to know what all this stuff really was and where it came from. What may drive me insane to the rubber room is knowing that this really happened, and proving it endlessly, and not being able to convince people that it happened. That's maddening, because it might just be, somebody wrote in the comments to me once, you have to realize that you're saying that every country, every religion, everything that's worshipped is wrong, and you're undoing all of that. And it's like, but it's the truth. It's I'm not setting out to do those things. Those things are just a byproduct of learning what really happened. And this belongs to all of us, and we should know. And I think it's very uniting to us as a species to know that we have such a common origin, and maybe it could do us some good. It's done me wonders. I don't know about you. I appreciate your interest that you've come here, but it's really done wonders for me, knowing that all of humanity has a common origin. That So yeah. I searched through Minoan art. It's like the snake goddess, and it's all plasma deity stuff in Minoan. I searched through Mesopotamian stuff. It's all plasma. There is no yellow sun. There is no yellow sun depicted anywhere. And if you say, oh well, about the stars in the Mesopotamian stuff, yes, the stars. It's presented as a star in the solar system with planets. It's not presented in some bucolic, here's farmers in the field with a yellow sun over top. It is not until 1600 BCE. And that's terrifying to think that this thing happened, this thing was in full effect until 3,600 years ago. That's how recent all of this got reset. And it's my belief now that indigenous peoples everywhere are the original Atlanteans. In some manner, they are the descendants of the original cult, because how else did they get everywhere? It's anybody with any, when we see the Dogon and they know about the stars, when we go to Mesoamerica and they have the calendars and everything, these are the descendants of the all the Atlanteans are the cultures who began when the plasma with the plasma deity event in their entire existence, and then they probably got wiped out by the Graham Hancock comet, and I'm still piecing all that together, because that's you're also dealing with plasma blasts of the separation, and that's why I believe we have Darren Kuyu. But we're really lucky to be here. It seemed like we got hit with cataclysm after like it wasn't just a cataclysm that went away. I think the plasma deity event, the separation of the planets, caused plasma strikes for generations, and that explains why they built such extensive underground cities like Darren Kuyu that holds 40,000 people. Okay, so that's where I am so far. I think the plasma deity event occurred in the entirety of man's existence. I think it began separating as soon as we start seeing the multiple versions of it instead of just one, which could go back as far as 16,000 years ago, because that's what we see in the Australian caves. And I think the final separation happened in 1600 BCE, and that's what this is why the Nebra sky disk was created. Also, I believe that all of the constellations are representations of objects they saw with the plasma deity event, and they're just marking in the sky where that image was during that plasma deity event. All right, my name's Steve. I'll see you guys on the next one. Adelante.
Divina Negative.
Electricity.